A woman living with dementia experiences a lucid spell, tracks down her errant family, and in the few hours she has, tries to pull them back together. It's about time that she had a role like this where she has front and center, presence. And she was so perfect for this role because I needed someone who could get away with being the meddling busybody that she is, but that you'd still love her for it. You'd forgive her for all her kind of indiscretions because she has this kind of built-in warmth that's just completely natural to her that is, she couldn't do away with that if she tried, and so that was critical, and she was so perfect in that sense for the role. There's a number of things that have brought me to this topic. I mean, the thing that most people ask me is there someone in my life who is living with dementia or has lived with dementia? And the answer is no. But I've always had a fascination with memory and how key our memories are to who we are, how much of our identity is tied up with our experiences and our memories, and how lost we would be without those memories. The other thing that led to this film, that me wanting to make this film, was my love of the older audience that go to see these films. And often I'll go to see a film on my own, and I'll be sitting there, and a group of women in their 60s or 70s will show up, and they'll sit behind me, and the sense of excitement and enthusiasm for a film, and the kind of lack of cynicism that a lot of the rest of the audience have, just a total openness to a great story and great characters, is something. I remember just sitting there thinking, I want to make a film for these people because they're just so open to a good story and good characters. And that was a big inspiration for wanting to tell a story for that audience, because they're the ones that show up to the cinema. They're still showing up, and if it's a good story, if they relate to it, they'll tell all their friends. You can tell it moves them, it affects them in a significant way, and that's why I want to make films. It was harder than I was expecting, I must be honest. I mean, as you say, I've made quite a lot of short films. And I thought this would just be a longer short film. It would be all the same things, but just longer, more shoot days, and then we'd have a film. But there's so much more to it. It's such a learning curve. There's so many more people involved. There's so many more. I mean, it's a whole machine. And what you realize as a director, or is that you're just one part of a much bigger tapestry. As a short filmmaker, you're everything. Or I have been. I'm the producer, I'm the writer, I'm the director, I'm the legal person, I'm the safety person, I'm everything. But when you're involved in a feature film, you can't. No one person can take all those roles. So you have to involve a myriad of different people, and with that comes a whole. Obviously, a bunch more people, but with that comes so much more expertise. And people who that's what they do, and they're good at it, and they take it to another level. So as hard as it was to step up to a feature film, it was such an amazing opportunity because I was suddenly working with experts that were taking over the roles that I would have done as a short film. The post-production people, the audio people, the set builders, the props people. It was amazing to see everyone go off and do their thing and come back and you things that you hadn't even contemplated was suddenly you notice in the background. There's this beautiful arrangement. There's these props that you hadn't even kind of talked about are suddenly there, and they're so perfect for the situation. And that applies to the sound. It applies to the actors. It applies to everything. And that was one of the most satisfying parts of the experience, was just working with so many amazing people. I was so used to having to, because it was either I did it or it didn't get done, and then suddenly it's like, no, you don't have to worry about that, and the financial side of it, the legal side of it, the contractual side of it, it was such a the producing side, which is huge. We had 3 very prominent producers working on it, and they all had a big job on their hands, and so it was to be able to just switch off that part of my brain and just focus on the directing part of it was such a great opportunity. It was everything I guess I've always wanted without realizing it.